Day one of the Styrian GP, and on a grey morning the cows are having a lovely feed as I head off to work. The Grand Prix of the Steiermark, or the Styrian Grand Prix. It was media day today, and what started out as grey and cool very quickly turned into clear skies and very hot. And I'm from Australia, so I know hot. But if you're going to have a Grand Prix, this is certainly a beautiful place to have one. Like, the drive into the track is just amazing. I'm all of 5 kilometres from the track, and I go along one road virtually, go through a couple of small towns at 30 k's an hour. There are fields on either side of me. Further out there are mountains covered in beautiful trees, and it's a real privilege to be here. However, these, if you're a hay fever sufferer, are absolutely vital because it's terrible. We have spectators at this race, and for the next one, the Austrian GP, we have a full house. And also, for the race after in Britain, it was announced that they'll be running with a full house too. In fact, there were some spectators today in the main straight grandstand, I'm guessing a couple of hundred, who had come for the pit lane tour. Now, normally that's a walk, but you can't have people just walking down the pit lane during COVID. So they were going off in these great little trains, and they just simply went up pit lane, a bit like a Disney ride. I'll kick things off with driver arrivals today, and I went down to the middle swipe gate and waited a very long time for our last driver to roll up. It was Lewis Hamilton, and he had his dog Roscoe with him. It's about 1,700 euros for the shorts and the top, and it was from Burberry. And the boots were interesting too, but I didn't do any research on the boots, but maybe if you know what they were, you can leave a comment in that. They were steel capped, well, certainly shiny capped. And we actually got a glimpse of Roscoe about an hour prior when Angela Cullen took him out for a wee. Pierre Gasly came in today in a beautiful new pair of Louboutins. This is the second pair of Christian Louboutins that he has worn in the last 2 weeks. A week ago he had these nifty shoes with the red ripple. And Yuki Tsunoda had a pair of black Pumas on that were very shiny as well. In fact, he and Pierre Gasly both did shoots in the car park with Andy Hone, who is the photographer for Haas, and you can see here he's wearing the Haas kit. But I think this was for Honda, and I guess we'll find out at some point. But they went up to the back of the car park and posed for a little time. And here's actually 2 Yukis, because this is Yuki female and Yuki male. And given that we have crowds this weekend, the tents are out in force all around the track, and it's a big thing to come camping at the Austrian GP. I know this is the Styrian, but have a look at this. Chock-a-block full of tents in this field, and a number of other fields also have tents of different styles and sizes. As the drivers came in today, they were all temperature tested, and I'm not sure I've seen that at every event. Charles Leclerc came in a Ferrari Roma, a black one. This wasn't his car. This one was from a Vienna dealership on loan. 4-seater car, but only 2 seats used for Charles and his trainer. And Carlos Sainz also came in a Roma. His was canary yellow, magnificent and bright. But we didn't see him drive. He actually jumped out at the other paddock entry, leaving his cousin and brand manager, Carlos Honoro, to park the car with Rupert Mannering in the passenger seat. Daniel Ricciardo stood out today in his outfit, light blue shorts and shirt with Enchante written on them. If you're watching this video after the 27th of June, you can actually go and buy that gear at Daniel Ricciardo's shop. If you're watching it prior to the 27th, know that it drops on the 28th for you to get online and order it. For those going away on a holiday with their partner, it's a good idea to mix up your clothing in each other's suitcases. In the event that an airline loses a case, or worse still gets stolen, at least you've both got clothing available. Lando Norris came in a Mercedes C200 and got out wearing a black hoodie. Now, it was warm. At that stage it would have been easily 29 degrees, but he had no qualms in wearing that black hoodie. Now, this is a collaboration with Rude, a Californian designer that's gone into a collab with McLaren to produce a range of clothing, this being one of those hoodies. Oh, and as Lando was walking towards the swipe gates, George Russell came in another white Mercedes-Benz, and Lando feigned kicking his car as he went past. Time for another one of these. Nobody enjoys hay fever. What of Valtteri Bottas? Yes, he certainly arrived, and all the drivers did their press conferences up with Tom Clarkson in the media centre. And Valtteri once again was grilled about what his chances are of driving next year, but as he walked in today, he didn't seem too worried about that. And in fact, he even gave a left-handed salute to probably 6 of us photographers as he walked in. Now, somebody said you shouldn't do that unless you're in the army. Well, he was in the army, in the Finnish army, and I understand he achieved the rank of corporal. But I'm not sure you typically salute with your left hand, do you? Any military personnel out there can clarify that. I mentioned Lando and Daniel. I did note today that they have specialised tags on their gear, one with 003 and one with 004, which of course are their car numbers. And Daniel on his bag, because he's obviously flown in this morning from, I don't know where he would have come from, maybe Monaco. He had a 003 obviously on his bag. Now, speaking of drivers arriving into the track, I can tell you that Max flew in today from Monaco, and on board he had a special guest, a fella who was married last Friday. You might know him, Nico Hulkenberg, who married Egle, Sunny as we know her, and now she is Egle Hulkenberg. Now these are great people, and I can tell you that that post that I put up when Sunny sent me the picture from their wedding, which was a private affair in Monaco, just close friends and family. There was no party afterwards. They're going to save that until after COVID. But that post was my biggest ever. And Sunny also said it was her best post, but hey, you'd expect it to be her best post, and Nico's of course. And yes, Nico flew in with Max, but I don't think he's allowed into the paddock. And later on in the afternoon, I saw his old trainer, not old in age, but his trainer from 2019, Martin Poole. And Martin was walking out with a helmet bag, and on the side it says Nico Hulkenberg. So I stopped and said, Martin, what's the story there? And he said, well, look, we keep all of Nico's gear here at Aston Martin, because if he's called upon quickly, and he was doing some interviews for German TV up in this house on the hill, I thought, because Martin pointed up there and said he's up there doing that. So I thought, well, I'll go for a walk up there. It's about 1 kilometre and uphill. And I wandered up there, but I couldn't find him. He obviously wasn't clearly in view, but he is working up there. And if he's called upon to drive that car for any reason, all of his gear is in the Aston Martin hospitality suite or garage, so it's ready to go. They don't leave it up to the driver to bring that gear. Anyway, congratulations to both of the Hulkenbergs, Nico, who I hope to catch at the track and photograph in the next 3 days, and his beautiful wife Egle, who I believe is in Saint-Tropez with the girls. Hey, Will Buxton's back. He's had a couple of races off, but has returned, and also joining him for the first time is this woman, Ariana Bravo. You'll see her this weekend on F1's coverage, but best dressed of the ladies today in the paddock, I think hands down has to go to Andrea Schlager, who is a TV presenter on Austrian television, and have a look at this outfit. Gunther Steiner, I photographed him coming in, but I didn't do this last race, and I should have. I got a picture last race of Gunther, Greta and Gertrude, 3 G Steiners. I'll quickly mention the fact that if you join as a member and you're a photography-minded person, you get a number of raw images from each race to do as you please with. And most people get them and just play around with the edits. Now, raw image, for those who aren't photographically inclined, is just an image that has a lot more detail in it than, say, a JPEG. And you can do much more with it when you edit it. And they come to you free of charge if you're a member. You get 2 per race. If you're a normal member, or if you're a VIP, you get 4. And every member gets wallpapers once a month. Having said that, it's probably now time for me to go and get another schnitzel, my 3rd in 3 days. And I tell you what, if you're going to have a schnitzel, you have it here in Austria, because it's magnificent. And I recommend, don't get the chips, get the potato salad. If you've liked the video, there's nothing stopping you hitting that like button. I'm going to ask you to do it now. You can also subscribe if you haven't done so. Join as a member and click the notifications bell. You'll find all of my images available at ProStar Pics for editorial and personal use. You can go and get them printed and whack them up on your wall. My F1 driver books, along with a whole host of merchandise, is now available at kimillman.com. And there are 23 of those F1 driver books, and one book, 2021, the best of this season. And for my best images live from the track and all during the week, you ought to go to Instagram and search at Kim Illman. At the moment, I think we're at 187,000 followers on that. And I'll go out on a limb here and suggest that shortly after the British GP, that figure will have clicked over to 200,000. And hopefully you're one of those 200,000 followers. Thank you for watching, and stay passionate. Yes, Nico flew in with Max. Get out, get out, get out.